Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Courtney here with Southern Owls, and today we are collabing with TMIGifts.com. So we're going to make a beautiful Mardi Gras swag. Look how gorgeous this base is from TMI Gifts. I'm obsessed. We're going to be using this really fun Jester sign, which I already prepped with some cable tie mounts and some pipe cleaners. Gorgeous. Look how perfect this mesh is for Mardi Gras. This is a 10-inch foiled, heavy foiled deco mesh. We're going to be using this awesome 4-inch ribbon. I'm obsessed with the crowns and the fleur-de-lis. So pretty. Of course, we have to add in some more. Oh, don't cover up that beautiful gold. Some beautiful Mardi Gras ribbon. Look at that chunky glitter, my friends. And what would a swag be if we didn't add in some really fun picks? So we're going to add in some orbs. I have 3 of these picks. I grabbed one of these really fun swirl with little orbs and fun little sprays coming out picks. And of course, we need the little Jester legs popping out of the top. I mean, I'm obsessed with this pick. And it's got the little jingle bells on it. So let's get started. So, of course, we're going to start off with our mesh. And we're going to cut our mesh and get that ready to rock and roll. Oh my gosh. This is some beautiful mesh that we are using today. We are going to start off and we're going to do 20-inch cuts. And I think I'm going to need 13 pieces. So we're going to do 13. And if we end up needing more, guys, we can always come back and cut some more pieces. So let's start off with 13 cuts. This is 10-inch foiled deco mesh. And we're cutting it at 20 inches. All of these items that I am using today can be found at our friends at TMIGifts.com. Be sure when you're shopping there, you use my code OWL20 and you'll get 20% off your entire order. What? Hoot hoot, right? Hoot hoot. So grab these supplies. This is a collab, not a kit, but don't you worry, friends. I will have all of the links available for you in the description of this YouTube tutorial. So you can go and I will put the quantities so you can go and just click those links and get everything that you need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2 more. Whoop. I am using my rotary cutter to cut this mesh today. If all you have is scissors, that's totally fine. I just like my rotary blade. You can get them at any craft supply store or even Amazon. Okay. Let's get our swag. I mean, isn't this, look at that, how it's so gorgeous. This is so, so gorgeous. We're going to cut the tags. That says hook. Obviously, that's where you're going to hang this swag up. And this is our cute other little tag that we need to cut off. And we're going to start right at the top. So this is a teardrop, so it's bigger on top and gets skinnier towards the bottom. So we're going to start at the larger side. We're going to ruffle our mesh in. So when we ruffle, I always like to use the natural bend in the mesh. And I flip it onto my table. I tuck it under about 1 inch or 2. Find the middle, which is going to be perfect on this mesh because it's that green line. We're going to give it a pinch and we're going to follow that green line all the way to the other side. And we're going to make sure that side's folded under about 1 inch or 2. We're going to start right at the top, right in between these tinsel ties. We're going to grab 2 that are close to each other, fold in that mesh, and give it a nice little twist. And we're going to kind of V our mesh towards us so it kind of does a half semicircle. And we're going to do that all the way down. So the next one is going to go we're going to go a few inches down and put the next one right in. This is such beautiful mesh. It's nice and thick. So we're not going to need a lot of it. It's not see-through. It is definitely not see-through. This is beautiful, beautiful. So we're going to go down a few inches. We're going to stick it in between two of these tinsel ties again and just twist, twist, twist a few times and then fold that mesh in a semicircle. And we're going to go down a few more inches again. I kind of like to get my little tinsels a little prepped and ready for me so I know where I'm going and I don't get lost. Same thing, doing that ruffle method. I love this mesh. I love that the green line is the center, so we can follow that all the way down this swag. That is perfect. Wow. Isn't this mesh something? Goodness. Has anyone ever made a Mardi Gras themed wreath before? Let me know in the comments. I live in Texas. I've grown up with Mardi Gras, considering Louisiana is my next door neighbors. And even down in Galveston, Texas, they do a little Mardi Gras parade down in Galveston every year. So I'm very familiar with Mardi Gras and traditions. And I love Mardi Gras. I love to design Mardi Gras. It's one of my favorite color schemes. I think it's so beautiful. So beautiful. And keep on going down, finding those twisty ties and just twisting that mesh right in all the way to the bottom. See this long guy? I'm not going to use him. We're just going to fold him up into the wreath. Actually, let's go behind because we're going to need to use some of those tinsel ties down here at the bottom. Okay, we're going to do one ruffle right here at the bottom. We're not going to make it go right or left. We're just going to do it how we would normally lay down a ruffle in a wreath. We're just going to go right on top, and we're going to find two tinsels and lay it right down in there, just like that. So now we have our one side done with that beautiful mesh, and then we just left this one nice and big, and then we're going to go in on this side, and we're going to do the exact same thing and mimic. We're just going to fill this beautiful swag up with our 10-inch mesh. I'm going to find some tinsel ties along the way. Put that mesh down right in the middle. Give it a few good twists. Make sure it's nice and tight and it's not going to go anywhere. We're just folding that mesh into like a little semicircle all the way down. And you're just using these tinsel ties that come on the swag. That's the beauty. Don't be afraid. I was so afraid when I first started wreath making, using evergreen bases or swag bases, because I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I use? How do I tie it in there? No, this is so good, guys. Just dive in, buy yourself a swag, and it's so fun. You get to be really creative and just use these little evergreen tinsel ties however you want. Don't be afraid. You just got to dive in and try. Okay, we're just going all along the other side, mimicking what we did, doing those little half foil, little semicircles, moving up every couple inches. Doing that ruffle method. So like I said before, all of these supplies are from TMIGifts.com. TMIGifts.com. Be sure when you're shopping with them, you use my code OWL20, OWL20, and you'll get 20% off your entire order. All right, we're going to keep on going. We are almost done. And we're going to do the same thing up here at the top. I'm going to find 2 tinsel ties up here at the top, and we're going to ruffle one right on top of here, just like we did on the bottom, because that's where my bow is going to go, and I want it to be a little bulky up there and have some height so our bow doesn't sink down into the wreath. So that's the whole point of using mesh. It's so whatever we put on top of the mesh doesn't get lost and sink down into the wreath. I mean, it's one of the purposes. Obviously, we use it because it's beautiful. Look at that mesh. Are you kidding me right now? This is beautiful. Okay, we're done. Ha, just kidding. Okay, we have one more piece of mesh. I'm going to add it right to the center because why not? We cut it. And that is just going to kind of give our sign a little bit of a backbone. So let's just add this right into the middle and twist it in just like that. Because you know what? We cut it, we might as well use it. Okay, so this is our swag base. The base is basing. I'm going to add in the sign next. This is a beautiful Jester metal sign. I did add in my own cable ties. I did put some hot glue on them. I'm not using the hanger that comes with it. That's just personal preference. Okay, I'm going to put this towards the top, right in the middle, like this, onto our swag. So we're just going to thread these pipe cleaners right through the base, right through the mesh. And I'm going to use that center, I'm going to call it a bone of the swag, okay, as my guide. So I want one pipe cleaner going on one side of the spine. I'm going to call it the spine. That's an even better word, Courtney. Of the spine. And then we want to make sure that other pipe cleaner is wrapping around the other side of the spine. So our Jester is right in the middle. Okay. And the same thing down here, just threading it through that mesh. Now, since I put these on the side, sorry, this foil is thick. There we go. Since I put these guys on the side, I'm not going to worry about going through the spine. I just want to go through the mesh. And then find a tinsel, some tinsel to make sure that we get the sign on. Wrap around that tinsel so it has something thick to stick to. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Right through that mesh. That mesh is just going to act as a base, and it's going to make sure that our sign doesn't sink down into our wreath. And then I'm going to find another good long piece of tinsel. I'm going to kind of show y'all that tinsel, and then I'm going to twist this around that tinsel, and then I tucked the tinsel like that. So now that is not going anywhere. Okay, so now we got our sign. Gorgeous, gorgeous, darling, gorgeous sign on. And now we're going to bust out the ribbon, and we're going to do a big, beautiful bow. Here are the ribbon choices. I went with something crazy for the bottom, for the base of this bow, and I wanted just some solid colors for the accent pieces. So let's get this bow going. So we're going to start off with a big, nice 7-inch tail, because remember, we're going to be sticking these Jester legs out from the top too. So we want this to kind of, you know, all be nice and cohesive. And then I'm going to do 14-inch loops, which is really 7. So I'm going to measure out 7 inches. 14, right? So 7-inch loops. Oh, hold on. There we go. Bring it around. And we're going to do a nice long tail where are my scissors? Here we go. We're going to do a 14-inch tail. And we need to sip it a little bit. We will in the end, but I want to keep that nice and long for right now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now I'm going to come in. I love this chunky green glitter, and we're going to add a little bit of this right into. We're going to start off at the top, and we're going to do that 7-inch tail. We're going to mimic it. And we're going to do, I'm going to shrink down the loops to 13, which would make your loops 6.5 inches if you're using a bow maker. Nice and long tail again, 14 inches. Put that off to the side. Beautiful, beautiful. You're beautiful. Okay, we're going to get that gold. This is a 1.5-inch gold. Now this is awesome because it doesn't shed. The chunky glitter, guys, I'm not going to lie, it sheds a little. Okay. 7 inches, but we love a good chunky glitter. 13 inches, so that's going to make the loops 6.5. 13, 6.5. And we're going to come down to the base again and do a nice long 14-inch tail. And then we're going to come in and we're going to do that superstar purple right in the middle, which is just going to make everything pop, right? Look how beautiful. It's a nice metallic. This is a 7/8-inch ribbon. So it's a little bit skinnier than your 1.5-inch, which is great. We're going to come in. We're going to still keep, I'm going to still do 13 inches, which will be 6.5 inches on your bow maker. We're going to do 2 of those, and we're going to flip that ribbon upside down and around our thumb for that center loop. We're going to twist it down, and we're going to do another 14-inch tail. We're going to get those out of the way. We're going to grab our cable tie, and we're going to wrap that around right where we're holding it. And we're going to start fasten it, but not all the way. We're going to make sure that we leave a little room to slip in that pipe cleaner halfway in the middle. Get it nice. Oh, let me flip that so it's not the wrong way. Get it nice and tight. And then we're going to cut off that. We're going to flip our bow over. Got bow be bowing already. We are going to fold all of our tails in half and cut up at an angle to make our beautiful dovetails. We're going to do it to all of them. And go up here at the top and do the same thing. Love that chunky glitter. Okay, clean up our station. And here's the bow. It's going to be gorgeous when we get it on there. I love that 4-inch ribbon. It is so fun. Okay, let's get our bow on. We're going to put it right above our Jester's head. And I'm going to kind of angle it off to the side a little bit. We're going to take our pipe cleaner. I always like to twist it 1 or 2 times. And then we're going to thread it through at an angle. Making sure that we go through that mesh again and some of the tinsel ties. And then twist, twist, twist once we get it on. And then we're going to angle this off to the side. And I want those tails all going towards the opposite side. Flip up our loops. Gorgeous. Loving it already. You know what? We might just do a little bit of a bubble tail right there. Let me see. Might be a little cute. So we don't hide our Jester spine. Hold on, let me move that up. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of cute. Drag those off to the side. I think I like that. Let's do that. Okay, so we're going to go down. We're going to glide down our ribbon, and we're going to leave about 2 to 3 inches of the tails at the bottom. You're going to get a pipe cleaner, twist it around nice and tight, okay? And then you're going to thread this pipe cleaner through the mesh to make this little bubble tail effect. You're just going to thread that right through. Make sure that you're going through the mesh and around the tinsel tie again. Twist it on there. Hold that little tinsel tie down so it doesn't slip off later. And now we can kind of bubble this and play with it a little bit now that it's all secured. Cute. Very, very cute. All right, what are we thinking so far? Ooh, that's fun. That is such a fun bow. I love that. Do we need to angle this down just a little bit? Maybe just a little bit. Let me play with it just a minute. Let me take this down just a little bit. Bear with me, bear with me. Always good to do swags on a door or something like that, but for filming purposes, I know y'all can kind of see better when we're at this angle. So I'm going to bring this kind of down and around, I think. And go, I'm going to thread this through like right underneath that Jester's hat. I felt like it was going off a little too much to the side. A little too sideways for me. Okay, we got it around that tinsel. I'm going to bend that tinsel down. All right, let's re-fluff this out a little bit. There we go. That looks better. Now it goes down more versus off to the side. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to go down since we have the ribbon out. We're going to go down and we're going to do a nice little bow down here at the bottom. I say little, but we're using a beautiful 4-inch ribbon, so it's going to be a little big, but in a good way. So let's get our cable tie and our pipe cleaner ready to roll. And I'm going to dovetail this end already. I'm just going to fold in half cut up at an angle. We're going to do a 7-inch tail again. Oh, that is not a pretty, hold on, let me, hold on. That was not a very pretty dovetail, was it? Try that again. There we go. Just a little crooked there. A little crooked. Okay, 7-inch. And we're going to come in and let's shrink down the loop to a 12-inch loop. So it's going to be 6 inches. Yeah, I like that. And we'll do another 6-inch loop. And then we're going to do a shorter tail. We're just going to do a 10-inch tail down here. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, let's go for it. We're going to do the same thing that we did on top, and we're going to add in all of our beautiful ribbon with that 7-inch tail. We're going to put that right on top. And then we're going to do shrink down the loops 1/2 inch. So we're going to do 11 inches, which will be a 5.5-inch loop if you're using the bow maker. And then that 10-inch tail. Same thing, 7-inch up top, 5.5-inch at the bottom. A 10-inch. We're going to come in with our purple, make it pop. 7-inch at the top for the tail. And then we're going to do 5.5 inches again. And then that 10-inch loop, or 10-inch tail, excuse me. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, we are going to grab our cable tie. And go right in the middle. Start threading it through, but don't go all the way. I'm going to slide in that cable tie, and we're going to get it nice and tight and snip off that extra. And we're going to start fluffing out our bow. I know we did this one a little bit different, and I didn't do a center loop. Don't think I forgot. I just thought it would be fun to do something a little bit different. All right, we're going to dovetail all of our ends. Just fold that ribbon in half and cut up at an angle. That one I did before we started making the bow. And the great thing, guys, is all of these supplies, like I said, are from TMIGifts.com. And all of the ribbon that I'm using today is wired. So you can manipulate it, you can play with it, it's going to stay, it's going to keep its form, it's going to stay in place, which is always great. Even the baby ribbon has wire in it. Even the baby ribbon. Okay, so we're going to get this bow on right at the bottom. I'm going to just twist that around that cable tie just a couple times. And then we're going to put this beautiful bow right in the center. We're going to use the spine of the swag to make sure that this stays in the center. Get it on there, twist it around the spine of the swag. And then we are going to fluff out our tails. And this one is going to stay more towards the side. Or, excuse me, more in the center versus the side. All right, we're just going to pull this ribbon where we want it. Get it nice and fluffed out. Loving this big old bow down here. That's gorgeous. I love that. Okay, so it's coming together. Coming together with our showstopper bows. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some ribbon tails down the side. So it's just going to do some, we're probably just going to do 2 little V's, maybe 3. No, I think just 2 will probably be good. And then we're going to add in all of the fun stuff to this swag. Maybe we do need 3. Let's see. Let's see. No, probably just... Or do we ditch the 4-inch ribbon? No, I like the 4-inch. We're going to use the 4-inch because it's beautiful. Okay, let's cut. If we did... Yeah, we'll do 14 inches. And guess what, guys? I have 14-inch ribbon tail boards. I know, I never usually use them, but here we are. So let's do 4 of these. Isn't it cute? Hashtag ribbon hoarder. These are from Etsy. My girl Lauren with Beautiful Mesh makes these ribbon tail boards. If you like the wooden ones, you can go and snag them. And she makes them in a 14-inch. She makes them smaller as well, but the wooden one are from Beautiful Mesh on Etsy. They're great. They're really great. Okay, so we're just going to prep these and dovetail the ends. Fold that ribbon in half. I'm just going to do 2 at a time because it is 4-inch ribbon. And this seam is weird, right? Because it has that cool seam. So it's a little, oopsie, it's a little awkward cutting it. There we go. So we're going to do 4 little ribbon tails coming out of our jack-o'-lantern. Oh my gosh, our Jester. Jack-o'-lantern. Girlfriend, we are so far away from Halloween. Clearly, I already have Halloween on my brain. Okay. 4 of those. And then we are going to do, but we're going to shrink down to 13 inches for the rest of the ribbon tails because I want this to pop out more than the smaller guys. So we're going to do 4 of these chunky glitter. 1, 2, 3, 4. And dovetail just like we did the others. Fold in half and cut up. Get those ends looking gorgeous. We're going to do it for, oh, that one busted open. That's okay. Who needs the top? 4 of these. Not at that one. Oh my gosh. Did I use that one for the green? I hope not. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm like second guessing all of my life choices that I just did. I'll measure them. It's going to be fine. Okay, we're going to cut all of these and dovetail. Ooh, that just like flew all over my swag. That's okay. Shake them off. Shake it off. Okay. No, I did good. Even if it's fine. It looks great. It looks great, Court. Okay. And 4 of these. We're going to dovetail them all as well. Fold in half. Cut up at an angle. So we're having a cold front blow through right now, and I work in my barn. If you're new here, welcome. But I work out of my barn, so I have the door open, and I have 2 of my barn cats in here visiting, taking naps with me, which is super adorable. Super, super adorable. Okay, grab 4 pipe cleaners, and we're going to make these into ribbon tail bundles. And we're just going to layer these ribbons right on top of each other. But I'm always going to have the purple on top because it's the thinnest of the ribbon. So we did the 4-inch, and then we're going to do all of the skinny ribbons. You're going to find the middle, give it a pinch, and then you're going to grab a cable tie and try to get it in the middle as much as you can. And then you're going to pull and twist, twist, twist. Okay, and then we're going to V these right into our design. So let's get all of these prepped and ready. And then we will add them onto our beautiful swag that we're making. Let me know in the comments if you've ever made a swag before. Something on the evergreen base. I know they're a little intimidating, but I promise, like, once you do it once, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. You just got to dive into these kind of things and kind of just play around with it until you figure it out, until you get comfortable with it. Okay, we're going to do one more. All of these on top, and we're going to fan them out once we get on the wreath, so don't worry too much about them just being a stack of ribbons. Okay, here we go. So we're going to take our first bundle, and make sure, guys, this is directional ribbon that we're using, the 4-inch, so make sure that you're putting it on in the right direction. We're going to go underneath our sign a little bit, through the mesh. Make sure we find one of those tinsel ties, because that's going to make sure it's nice and secure. Twist, twist, twist. I'll fold that little tip down. I'm going to go underneath that Jester hat, because we want this to be the main show, right? And then you can just play with these ribbon tails and kind of fold them out. Spread them out how you want them to be. Now that it is down in your wreath. Cute. So now we'll have these flaring down out of the side. Do I want that? down in maybe a little bit further. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more. Sorry guys, hold on. Let me get this down a little bit more. There we go. Okay, we're gonna grab another bundle and we're gonna do the same thing and we're gonna just go right down. We're gonna go underneath that first layer of mesh and pierce through the rest of the mesh. That's gonna hide our mechanics. And I will say, since this is a good thick foil mesh, it's gonna take a little time. So just be patient. Okay. I'm gonna find some tinsel, just like I did on the other side, to wrap this around. And I'm going to tuck that tip of the tinsel down. I'll fan this out. Down and around. And we're just going to take our tails and just kind of start manipulating how we want that to look. So it's just creating a little pizzazz around our sign. Isn't that nice? It's beautiful. We're doing the same thing on the other side. Make sure that everything is facing the right direction, and you want to kind of get it in line to right where you put the other one. Kind of mimic the other side that we just did and get it right down through that mesh. Guys, this cold front that's blowing through today, it is going to be below freezing tonight. It's going to get chilly willy. It is gonna get cold here, guys. Okay, we're gonna go down and around our sign because I want the sign, of course, to be the focal point of our wreath. So spread those down and around. Beautiful, darling. Y'all are doing so good. Okay, one more tail and then the fun stuff begins. Okay, I mean, it's all fun. Then the picks, the fun picks. That's when the design is just gonna get. All right, same thing. Kind of get it where we put the last one. And I'm going to find a tinsel tie to make sure that that pipe cleaner's not going to go anywhere. Twist it around that tinsel tie, and I just fold that tip down. And then let's spread out beautiful ribbon. So the great thing about this being a collab, if you just see something that catches your eye, you can go and grab it from TMI Gifts. You don't have to buy an entire kit. So I love doing the mixture of collabs and kits because maybe you don't need everything and maybe you just need one or two items that you saw I was collabing with and you're like, oh yes, let me go add that to my cart, you know? Okay, beautiful. Loving it already, and we're not even done. Oh, oh my gosh. Obsessed. Obsessed with this Jester. He looks so happy. Okay, so next, point you back down. Let's add in all of our fun picks. Let's get this ribbon out of the way. Move over ribbon. Enter fun picks. Move this off to the back and to the side. Okay, well, first and foremost, I know that I want to this whole entire pick is going up top. I love these legs so much. I think they're so fun. And since we did our bow off to the side, we're going to stick this bad boy off to the side as well. We don't need it to be so long. So we're going to get our nippers, and I'm going to cut off few inches if I can. It is a thick pick. There's a lot going on. So let me see if I can. There we go. Ooh. Can she do it? She can. She can, y'all. Okay, so we're going to take, I'm not going to separate this because it's spread out so nicely. And I want this to be at the top anyways. So we're going to go in at an angle and just glue this whole thing in. So we're going to get a good, nice dip of our hot glue over here in the glue pot. I'm going to push up that bow so we don't get glue on the bow, on the ribbon. And we're going to just push that down into, we'll fluff the bow back up, right down into our swag. Oh my God. I love this pick. It is so cute. So fun. And see, we're kind of off balancing. So this was off to the side. Now we're balancing it with this pick going off to the other side. Okay. So now let's add in these really fun orbs. I'm going to tear this pick apart though, and we're just going to add in these orbs one at a time. I'm just going to take my nippers. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And nip all of that off. Push this guy up. And then we're going to shred this pick apart too. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to pull this apart. Just kind of where you see it naturally wanting to be pulled apart. And then we'll have to cut this guy. Oh, yes. Okay, so let's organize all of our picks. So we have some fun orbs right here, some swirls. Yes. So we have 2 swirls, and we got a lot of these orbs. Okay, so we're going to start adding in these fun orbs going down our wreath. We're just going to dip them in our hot glue over here. I'm going to put one right off here to the side, coming up and out. And what I like to do normally is whatever I do to one side, I want to kind of balance it, right? So the bow is off-centered, so this was off-centered. So that balances it. So we're going to put one over here. I'm going to have one coming out on this side now. And then we're just going to go down our swag. I'm going to make sure that I'm tucking this underneath things so we don't see the mechanics of the wreath. We're going to go underneath that little tail, and then we'll fluff it back out. Perfect. We'll go right in between these two tails. Make sure that you are sticking the pick in between some mesh. Okay, we're going to add 2 to this side. So we're going to add 2 to that side. Balance it all out. Let's add this one. Go right in there with our hot glue. Make sure, little pro tip, make sure your glue is like the consistency of honey. It being nice and thick is going to help you with like the spider webs that sometimes, you know, we can get when gluing things in. And also, I feel like ever since I started really paying attention to my glue consistency, knock on wood, I haven't burnt myself as much. I'm probably going to burn myself now since I said something, but I've noticed that since it's a thicker consistency, I'm less likely to burn myself. Okay, we're going to go a few more inches down. Add in another one of these. And remember, whatever we did to one side, we're going to do the other. Stick it in between that mesh so it is adhering to something. I like these coming out, the ribbon tails being down. And then we got one left, and I think, yep, I want it to come out of the bow. I'm going to trim this down just about an inch, just a little bit more, because I want this coming. This is going to be a big swag, guys. I like looked at my table, and I'm like, wow, this is turning out to be, oh no, hold on. Hold on, it's unraveling. Turn that guy off. Excuse me, that was not in the plan, gold foil. Okay, we're going to put this coming out of our bow. Gorgeous, darling, gorgeous. Okay. Let me put that foil out of my glue pot, though. No one wants that in their glue pot, sorry. Give me 1 second, my friends. Sorry about the delay. Okay. Beautiful. So now we have these fun orbs going all the way down our swag. And now we're going to go, I'm going to focus more back on the top because I want some more fun things coming out of the top of our design. So we're going to add in, we have 2 of these orbs, these little guys, these fun spray with some orbs. So we're going to add one on one side and one on the other. So this one will go, gosh, I hope I can get this on camera. Yeah, there we go. This one will go right here behind the bow. So fun. So it really just kind of nice and fans out. Got another one of these. I'm going to snip it down just a little bit more. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. It got caught on, on my wires. That would have been so bad. Okay, I'm thinking I want to add this. Hold on, let me play just for a second. I might add both of these right on the side just to kind of, we're going to add this one more of the middle of the swag at the top. Just because I need some more balance up here. So we're going to shove that right down. Yeah. Fan that out. We have a little bit more balance of all the fun up top. Okay, so now we have these fun swirly guys. I am obsessed with. They don't need to be this long. I'm going to have these coming down, I think, and out of our Jester sign. I just have to see placement if I want them there or more towards. Ooh, yep, coming out of the bottom. I love that. Okay, so let's add these. Let me rip off some of this foil so we don't have another situation in my glue pot going on. You know what I'm saying, guys? Okay. Sorry, I'm getting silly. All right, dip that in. And then we're going to go underneath the sign and have these shooting out. Okay, we're going to do the other one on the other side. Lift up that foil mesh, put it down in there. Oh, glue with my side. Hold on, it's too long. Let me cut this guy just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hold on. Oh, okay. Cut him down. It was too long to put him where I want him. There we go. Put him in the foil of the mesh. Okay. I'm obsessed with this pick. This is so fun. Okay, and then we're going to have this last one, of course, coming out of the bottom of the bow. Excuse me. Excuse me. Or do we have it coming out of the top? Nope, because it covers our sign. I think I'm going to put them underneath the orbs. What I put in. Let's see. Kind of underneath those. Yeah. Love that. Okay, let me peel this foil off so it doesn't get stuck in my glue pot. And we're going to put it underneath. Gosh, can y'all see? Sorry, guys. This has become quite the big swag over here. This guy shooting out. Yes. Okay, fix those ribbon tails. This guy there. This guy there. Want that guy underneath. Yes. Perfect. Cute. Cute. Okay, guys, you did it. We made a showstopper Mardi Gras swag. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get the whole thing on camera. Ready? Don't judge what's back there. Don't even look. I know you're looking. Don't look. Don't you do it. Oh my goodness. Okay, look how fun that is. Those little Jester legs, that big showstopper bow. How fun is this? Are you kidding me? Y'all did so good. What do y'all think? You love? Super fun. And it's big, guys. This thing is huge. Huge, huge, huge. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. All of the supplies are from TMIGifts.com. Use code AL20 for 20% off your entire order. OWL20. Woohoo! You did it! Give your pat on the back. Y'all are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. And I can't wait to craft with y'all again soon. Bye, everyone.